Okay, so starting standing, take arms at your sides and turn your palms to face forward and actually overemphasize the rotation of the hands. So really draw the pinky finger forward and thumb back here. And then just do a few movements of the feet. So just a few right and lefts, maybe wiggling the toes a little bit, maybe even curling the toes under if you feel like your feet need that this morning. So whatever kind of movement your feet need. And then eventually just having the toes face forward. And then do a few shoulder rolls. And then roll the other direction. And then relax, turning those thumbs back here. Let's take our chin down towards our chest. And then roll our head a few times right to left. And then make that roll a little bit bigger as you go. And then let's bring the chin back down towards our chest. Bring the head up, chin level with the floor. If you want to, just close your eyes here. And we're gonna take a couple of deep breaths here, not really inflating the belly because the belly's gotta be engaged a little bit to support this spine for us to be upright. So breathing through the rib cage. And with each exhalation, see if you can draw the shoulders down a little bit, fingertips reaching towards the floor. Take a couple more breaths here. And then as you inhale, take and sweep your arms up overhead. And we're gonna flex the wrist. So flex the wrist and press the ceiling up. So just this big press up. Good, now press out to the side here. And you're gonna rotate your pinkies in. So the shoulders will rotate in. And now rotate back and down. Keep pressing out through the wrists. Palms again, press out, fingers up. Let's press up towards the ceiling. Take it back down. Pinkies rotate in. And then pinkies rotate down. Good. As you release, sweep one arm up overhead. Hold here. Press the hip out. And then let's switch sides. Good. Coming up, we're going to do that again. Reach across. This time, bend your elbow. Bring your fingertips behind your head. Draw the head back a little bit. Elbow reaches up and back. Switch sides. Good. From here, as you come up, both arms sweep up. As you exhale, bend the knees quite a bit here as you come down. And then let's add our hands coming towards our shins, lifting halfway up. And next, exhale, folding back up. Let's do about 5 of these. Inhaling halfway, exhaling it down. And on that last one, just stay released forward. Once you get to that 5th one, let the shoulders relax. And then next inhalation, bend the knees, sit back, chair pose, fingertips reaching out in front of you. Good, so make sure the knees are the same distance apart as the ankles here. And then we're just gonna do a stand up, reach up, and then hands at your heart, sit back, chair pose. Reach up, stand up. Next breath, hips back, sit down. All right, next one, as you come into that chair pose again, pause there. Shift your weight into your heels a little bit. Now sink the torso down, fingertips reach back. Try to rest your torso actually on the tops of the thighs. Sweep the arms all the way in front of you, stand up, again, flex the wrists and push the ceiling up. Next breath, exhale, fold it all the way down. Hands on the shins, halfway lift. You're gonna take your left leg, step it back into a lunge. And let's just do a few movements here, back and forth. You wanna tap that knee, you can. And then next breath, take it back into downward facing dog. Add whatever type of movement you want here of the feet. And then from here, we're gonna take and step the left foot up now into that lunge. And again, add some movement on this side. The next breath, push off with the back leg, come into our forward fold. And then next inhalation, sweep all the way up, coming up to standing, arms at your side. Okay, from here, I want you to grab your weights, and we're gonna use these throughout our flow now. Okay, so starting in our mountain pose, let's just start with some raises out to the side and come down. We have 2 more. We're gonna go into a side lean, one hand down, other across, hold here. Coming up, switch sides. Hands come down, bend the knees, sit it back, chair pose. From here, palms face back, elbows up into a row. Arms resting just down. Sink your torso a little bit lower. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna come into those airplane arms. Palms are gonna face up, reach the fingertips back. Hands come down here. You're going to step your left foot back into a lunge. All right, from here, you're gonna take left arm. It's gonna come into one arm row. Putting that weight down, you can either keep your hands on your weight or move the weights out to the side. It's up to you. Step back, downward facing dog. All right, from here, let's take and step the left foot up now. Try to get that ankle right below the knee. And now we got that one arm row. As that rests down, take the back foot, step it up, forward fold. And then from here, bring the weights to your armpits, stand up. Okay? So there, we kind of went through a whole flow. We're going to repeat that again here. So lat raises to start with. Shoulder raises. You have 3 more. So here's 3 and 2. Last one here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to then come into that side lean. So one hand down, other arm up and over. Switch sides. Good. From here, sit it back. Chair pose, palms facing each other this time. Come into fly. So a little bit of a bend of the elbow. Pinch the shoulder blades together. We have 2 more. Last one. Now we're going to come into that airplane. So sink really low. Try to get your butt as low as your knees. Hands back. Lean the torso forward. Next breath, hands down. Left foot's going to step back. We got that low runner's lunge. Okay, so we got this left arm's going to be our row now, right to the armpit. And then from here, step it back, downward facing dog. We're going to step the left foot forward, row on the right arm. Last one, take that weight down, step it up, forward fold. Then weights to your shoulders, press up to standing. Okay, one more time through, and we're going to add a plank onto that. So come back to your raises here. Two more. Okay, side bend, hold. Switch it. Okay, chair pose. This time, hang your arms just right here. You're gonna lift the heels, tap. Heels, tap. Two more. Okay, now the airplane, all the way down with the torsos, hands back, hold. Hands down. Let's start with the right foot back first this time. Right arm into that row. Last one, downward facing dog. Next breath, right foot stepping up. Add that row. Okay, you're gonna step back into downward facing dog again. And then with your next exhalation, bend the knees. And we're gonna take it into a child's pose, but we're gonna do child's pose with tucked toes. So you're gonna tuck your toes, hips will come back, then arms can reach forward. So with the toes tucked, what you might see happen with your heels is they roll out to this side and you really roll towards the pinky toe. See if you can roll your heels towards each other a little bit more. Okay, with our next breath, coming up onto our knees, we're gonna take the right leg out to the side into gate pose. So right leg out to the side. And then what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take left hand down, and you can decide if you want hand on your weight or just hand on the floor. It doesn't really matter. Right arm up. Okay, so we're gonna start with the right arm moving. We're gonna bring it towards our shoulder and then down towards the opposite hand, pull up to the shoulder, up to the ceiling. And you're gonna rotate your shoulder to face down. So there's a little twist happening at the core. Okay, now keep that weight up towards the ceiling, and you're gonna take the opposite, or not opposite, same leg, lift it up, hold. Now you can stay here if you want, or add some movement where the weight comes towards the leg, press it straight back up. Two more. Right, leg coming down, hand will come down as well. Now, if your wrists need a break, you can do this on your elbow. Otherwise, we're gonna come into full side plank here. Hold. Draw your head back a little bit. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down onto hands and knees. From here, tuck the toes again, and then we're gonna lift the belly up. So draw the belly up towards the spine, and then lift your knees so that they're the same height as your heels. So your shins are horizontal with the floor. Hold. Okay, we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees down. You're going to switch now to the opposite side. So left leg's going to be the leg that's extended. Left hand's going to hold our weight. So we're first going to start with pulling up to the armpit, press to the ceiling, back to the armpit, rotate towards the hand. Two more. So our last one, hold it up here. Got that leg lifting, flex the foot. Okay, just hold or move the arm. Two more. That last one, leg can come down, hand can come down. And then transition into full side plank here. Okay, we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down, come back onto those hands and knees again. Same thing we did before, tuck the toes, belly strong, and lift up. We got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees can come down here. You can take and actually have a seat. Make sure there's a weight near you as you come down towards the floor. So once you get onto the floor, take and bend the knees. And you're gonna have one weight. So bring one weight. So knees squeeze together. We're actually gonna flex the feet and press the heels into the ground. Tall with our spine. We're gonna go into twist. So as you twist, you want to try not to see the knees move a whole lot. So knees stay the same, no movement in the legs. We got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're gonna do legs straight here. We're gonna flex the feet. Weight is gonna come out in front of us. We're gonna start to round all the way down. Weight's gonna come up overhead. And we're gonna push the weight up towards our feet to come up. Okay, so go nice and slow. Try to feel each vertebrae connect to the floor as you go down and up. See if you can keep the shoulders relaxed. Okay, you got one more. So rotate down one more time, or rotate, release down, roll down one more time. And then once you come back up, we're gonna go into those flexed feet, ground through your heels. We have those twists again. So tall spine, kind of lift the sternum up a little bit, and then start to twist. Okay, we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, the next one that we're gonna do is we're gonna come down on our back. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do, the weights are gonna go overhead and we're gonna pull them down to our belly and then back overhead. The key though, when we get there, is the how big of a curvature you have in your back. So we're gonna try to even out the back when we get there. So come down. First, start with a few just releases of the knees right to left. All right, then from here, knees coming up. I want you to notice the curvature in your lower back and see if you can take and allow the lower ribs to release down towards the floor. It doesn't mean that I took my pelvis and tucked it under and flattened your back. You actually want pelvis in neutral, but you want your lower ribs to come down a little bit. And you're gonna try this whole time we're moving to keep the lower ribs connected to the floor. So weight overhead, hands are gonna grab the head of the weight. Shoulders relaxed. So if your shoulders are way up off the ground, release them back down. Okay, we're first just gonna start with little movement, just about halfway overhead, back up. You can do it a little quicker too. Okay, so there should be no movement in the pelvis and no movement in the spine. Okay, now let's slow it down and we're gonna go all the way overhead and we're gonna add a pause. So all the way overhead, pause here for 2 seconds. Notice if your back really arched up, you gotta engage the belly and then pull the weight back up. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stay right here, real slow overhead, pause for a count of 2, and then slow back up. Okay, we have one more time here. Good. From here, extend the legs long, arms overhead, and then use momentum, bring yourself back up to seated. Okay, once you get into seated, again, bend the knees, hands are going to come down. So a couple variations that you can do here, you can just hold up if you want into like a crab or reverse tabletop, or you're gonna do opposite hand to opposite toes or knee. Okay, so again, belly's gotta draw in and up. So let's lift and then go. Okay, we got 5 more. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. All right, hips come down. Just take and do a little wrist stretch here. Each wrist. All right, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our way onto hands and knees again. And we're gonna eventually come into downward facing dog. So even if you wanna do downward facing dog without weights, have them right near where your hands will be so you can pick them up as we move towards the next movement. So when you're ready, coming into downward facing dog. Good. From here, we're going to fine tune this just a little bit. So with your next breath, see if you can lift your tailbone up slightly and maybe take the bend out of your knees. Now with our next exhalation, let's step both feet up towards our hands. And this is where you're going to grab onto your weights here and just come into a forward fold. Next breath, weights coming towards your shoulders, and then use your belly, press up, come back up nice and tall here. Okay, so right here what we're going to do is we're going to do a few chair poses, squats in between some additional leg work. So we're going to do the Himalayan squat, which is squat down, a big row, come to your shoulders. We're going to do 5 of them. So take it back. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Okay, now we're going to take right leg's going to step forward, left leg is going to come back. So we're going to be in warrior 2 stance here. Okay, so warrior 2 stance, take and bend that front knee right over top of the ankle. Palms are going to be in front of us, and we're going to do a quick bicep curl. Good, keep bending into that front knee. Okay, we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, from here, straightening out that front leg. The front arm is just going to hover. So it's not going to be resting into the opposite leg, or the front leg. We're going to take the other arm, reach it up. We're going to just come right here to shoulder, press, shoulder, press. This oblique, the bottom oblique's really got to be strong here because it's holding your torso up. Press down through your feet. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, come up here. Bend back into that knee. And now from here, just arms hold. Depending on how heavy your weights you are, this may be easier or harder. Arms hold, palms up. Good, arms coming down here. You're just going to walk the feet towards each other. We got 5 of those Himalayan squats again. So we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, left leg. Right into your warrior 2. Okay, now we're going to do hammer curls with it. So weight heads are up, up and down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the leg. And this one's just going to hover. Other arm up. We got these little one arm press. Four more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend back into that front leg. All right, from here, instead of doing palms up exercise, we're going to do palms right above us. So just right above, hold here. Good, we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands come down again, walk the feet in. We've got 5 of those Himalayan squats again. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, right leg is going to go back into our 90-degree angle, but what we're going to do is you're going to turn your hips to face right. Normally we do a lot of crescent lunge. We're going to do warrior 1. So with warrior 1, if you think about a clock, your left toes face to like 11 o'clock. Hips try to come forward as much as possible. Bend that front knee. Okay, so from here what we're going to do is we're going to press up, and then we're going to come down towards our pockets and right back up. If you don't feel any work happening in this front leg, take it forward more if your hamstring and calf will allow you. Keep that knee bent. Four more. So here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, from here, I'm going to just turn just a little bit. So from here, you're going to hinge forward and you're going to come into fly. So pinch the shoulder blades together. We have 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten out the front leg. You're going to take the back leg and you're going to step it in. And now both toes will be facing straight to the front here. So into pyramid legs. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hinge forward and take your weights to the highest height. So we're going to do a flat back as much as you can. So try to relax your shoulders. Try not to round here. And we're going to hold. As you're breathing here, start to allow the left hip to come down a little. Right hip will lift up. Then with your next exhalation, bend your elbows, sink your forehead towards your knee. Bend the front knee, come all the way up to standing. And then we have 5 of those Himalayan squats again. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, left leg forward. That right leg's going to be heel down, toes turned out a little bit, hips square to the front as much as you can. Bend into that front knee. Okay, so from here, instead of doing a big press, we're going to do hands together, triceps. Okay, we got 5 more. So here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Halfway forward, hold here. Triceps again, we're going to do kickback. So straighten, bend. The upper arm though stays lifted. So we have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming up, we're going to take this back leg, step it in, toes and hips face forward, come down into our pyramid pose. All right, so as we breathe now, we're going to try to level out our hips. So right hip will kind of turn down, left hip lifts up. And then with your next exhalation, bend your elbows, nose towards your knee. Bending into that front knee, come up. We have that last round of those Himalayan squats in an airplane here, okay? So here we go. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Okay, now stay down in chair pose. Start to lean forward, palms up. Sink the hips as low as the knees. Weight into your heels. Hold. Next breath, weights come down. You can let go of the weights and then just release into a forward fold. And we're going to stay in that forward fold for a few breaths here. So let your shoulders sink. Let your chin come up into your throat so the whole back side of your neck can relax here. All right, with our next breath, what you're going to do is you're going to bend your knees and you're going to come down onto all fours. And we're going to do a little bit of a flow here from the spine. So what we're going to start with, we're going to start in plank, modified plank. So plank on your knees. And then what we're going to do is we're going to let the hips come down, opening up the front side of the body. And then we'll press back, tuck the toes. Let's do this version of child's pose, lean back. Okay, come forward again in plank. You can keep the toes right where you want, right like this if you want, or tops of the feet. So plank first. And then sink the hips, draw the shoulder blades together a little bit. Pulling back up, tuck the toes, child's pose. Again, come into plank. This time, if you want, keep the toes tucked, lift the knees up. Shift the right hand in the center of your mat, turn left, side plank. Next breath, hand floats down, switch, rotate the other way. Hand coming down, drop towards your knees, and then sink the hips, open up the front side of the body. Tuck the toes, extended child's pose. Stay in this extended child's pose for a few breaths. And again, notice what happens towards your heels. Notice how the heels kind of roll out. So roll the heels towards one another. Next breath, coming up here, we're gonna come all the way down onto our belly. So when you get there, arms can stay right where they're at. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do a little lift. So we're gonna just lift up a little, come down. So belly is engaged, but we're really trying to fire up the muscles of our back. Then see if you can take your hands off the floor. Two more lifts. When you come down to that last lift, you're gonna come onto your elbows. And then from here, we're gonna lift the hips and we're gonna hold. You want a little bit more, tuck the toes, lift the knees. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees and hips down. You're gonna turn your right hand in and then spin towards your right hip, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we are going to do a side plank here. So split your feet or stack them, you decide. Lift up, hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hip coming down. You're gonna rotate over towards the other side. Okay, so take and lift up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take it down. From here, you can take the legs straight out in front of you. Okay, so legs straight out, feet can be flexed here. You can bring the big toes together. And so let's just come forward for a moment. If you want to touch your feet, you can. Otherwise, hands can just rest. Try to keep the spine long here. So instead of dropping the head, we'll keep the head in alignment with the spine. From here, as we come up, bend that right knee. Bring the sole of the foot towards the knee. Normally we kind of tuck it in. Bring it towards the knee though this time. And then we're going to come forward. If you want, you can take your hand onto the knee and help encourage the knee down, or maybe onto this top of this hip and encourage the hip to come down. Coming up here, let's take and switch to the other foot. Again, try not to tuck in so far as we normally would. Come forward. And then next breath, coming up. So you got arms at our side. Let's do a glute stretch here for a moment. So cross one ankle over top of one knee. And you can either hold or you can twist. So whatever you prefer to do in here. As we transition out of the working phase of our class, start to close your lips, because sometimes when you work hard, our lips start to open. So start to close your lips. See if you can keep those closed. Let your mouth relax, tongue rest at the roof of your mouth. Okay, switch legs. See if you can start to expand the breath through the rib cage. And then let's uncross the legs. And let's start to roll down onto our back. And when you get onto your back, bring your knees in towards your chest. So let's just actively pull the knees down and flatten out our backs. And then as you keep the knees in, back flat, roll a little bit to the right and just hold there. Roll a little to the left. Coming back to the center, let the knees and ankles separate about 4 inches. So keep actively hugging in, it's just they won't be together anymore. So it's gonna change how it feels in the hips. Separate the feet even more. So knees are gonna start to come towards the armpits. Then from here, legs straight up towards the ceiling. You're gonna do rotate big toes so they face each other, and then heels. One more rotation. And then whichever way, if rotating them one way or the other, you feel a lot of tension, go to whichever way you feel the most tension and hold. Press the heels up. Good, bring the knees back into the chest. You don't need to do such a tight hold here. And add a few circles or rocking of the knees. And now let's take that into a twist. So arms at your sides, knees can either stay into the chest or feet down, and take whatever type of a twist you'd like here. Now, as you breathe, breathe into the side rib cage. So feel the whole side rib cage open up as you take your breath. And then next breath, drop your knees over to the other side. Same thing, keep breathing into the rib cage. And then next breath, take your legs all the way down towards the floor. So legs long. And then sweep your arms up overhead. So a full body stretch here. You're gonna take and lift the left arm, lift the left palm, back side of the hand up off the floor and reach it towards the back wall. And then you're gonna lift the right heel up off the ground and reach the right leg away from you. So you should feel like you're being pulled diagonally. Great, let that relax. So just let it come down to the floor. Hopefully it feels like now one arm and one leg is just proportionate to the other side. So with your next breath, lift those up and again, extend, try to equal them out. And then next breath, relax. As we get into the meditation, the quiet part of our practice, feel free to change this up in any way that you need to. So if you like laying flat on the floor, you can do that. If you want to put legs up the wall or legs up onto your couch, or maybe you don't want to be on your back, you'd rather be on your belly with hands underneath your forehead. So take just 30 seconds here, find the positioning that your body wants to comfortably be in here. And once you get there, try to relax your shoulders, try to lengthen out the back of the neck. Again, take your lips together, relax your teeth, relax the muscles of your jaw. Take a couple of really big breaths into the belly. So letting the belly expand as much as you can. Then after your next round of breath, just breathe normally, whatever that looks like. So where you don't have to consciously keep thinking about the expansion. Allow your eyes to close if you haven't already. And as you continue to breathe, I want you to spend about 30 seconds thinking about a word that is important for today. Maybe there's something going on or some family or friends that you've been thinking about, and just kind of giving today a word. And how can that word bless you and bless others as you go throughout each thing on your schedule? It would be a word that brings you peace, brings you calm, that keeps you maybe centered if your day is really chaotic or there's some frustrating things that you need to do today. Whenever you've thought of that word, begin to reflect on the meaning of that word, the aspects of that word, the qualities. Maybe the ways in which your day will go better if you keep this word in perspective. And then keeping that word in your mind and in your heart, begin to move your fingers and toes, eventually bending your knees and starting to roll onto your side. Eventually bring yourself up into a seated position. Let's take 2 big deep breaths together as a group. Let's inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhaling it down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lifting up. And then exhale, releasing.